Hi everybody, Brian Professor B. Davis here for a special edition of Niners Radio 49 tonight. We're going to be going just abbreviated podcast tonight, just as we're now at the midway point of on this. Right, but hope you guys enjoy a very happy and enjoy your safe 4th of July holiday weekend. 4-day weekend is a short work week this week. A lot of you, of course, are getting ready to head out of town for the weekend. And we thought your prayers for safe travels, and we got some stuff right here right now on Niners Radio 49. We're gonna give you the state of the San Francisco 49ers. The Niners, of course, coming off a disappointing season last year, as they are, trying to bounce back. From a disappointing season, the Niners end up finishing with a 6-11 record after coming off that devastating, heartbreaking loss to the Kansas City Chiefs in Super Bowl 58 down in Vegas. Something I think for a lot of Niner fans, a lot of guys have turned the page, and especially turning the page from last year. Of course, it was a rough year. All what happened, like the old saying, with the injuries and holdouts before the start of the season, kind of was considered a letdown. When you lose the Super Bowl like that in overtime to the Chiefs, to your hated rival Kansas City Chiefs, and you feel that disappointment again. It's so hard to get back there. You're not promised, and for the Niners, this past year was an off year. A lot of players, a lot of injuries, including Christian McCaffrey, Brandon Ayuk tearing his ACL. So and then they culminated. The Niners at one point were 5-4 at the midway point, and they were hoping that they could make a run in the second half, but the injuries were just too much. And then after that, they just end up finishing the season losers of 7 of their final 8 games to finish 6-11. So a disappointing season all around. And the injuries, they got, they said goodbye to Deebo Samuel, said goodbye to Dre Greenlaw, and a few others. And they even had to part with Mitch Wishnowsky. They got signing a new punter, and they did a pretty good draft class, and just giving us the state of the 49ers. Looking at where we're at now, then, and where we are now, as the OTAs have just recently wrapped up a little more than 2 weeks ago. And the Niners and the players and the coaching staff on a bit of a hiatus, on a break for vacation before. I think in about 2 or 3 weeks they get ready to start up again for training camp. So the season's going to be just around the corner. So of course it's a big year for the 49ers. Of course, the Bay Area Super Bowl 60 will return to the Bay Area for the second time, only for the third time in history, and it'll be back in Santa Clara, and we're going to be, in the coming weeks and months, we will have so many moments. We're going to have so many moments coming up for the new year. For this upcoming football season in the coming weeks. And so stay tuned to Niners Radio 49. Of course, Super Bowl 60 will be coming to the Bay Area in February of 26. And we're going to have so much news. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff coming up in the coming weeks and months. So it's going to be a good, fun time for the 49ers, hoping to bounce back. And we're going to be taking dissected tonight in the schedule of the 2025-26 schedule released nearly almost 2 months ago. And we take a look . up the season schedule. Here we go. So we got the schedule. It's the schedule for 2025. Taking a look at the schedule. Here we go. So take a look at the schedule. Who the Niners going to play? They'll play their preseason games. They'll start off in week 1 in Denver. The preseason begins exactly 1 month from, actually a month from this Saturday. They'll take on the Broncos at Levi Stadium. That's a 5:30 p.m. Pacific. That will be on KPIX. That's a 5:30 game. Week 1 against the Broncos, and then week 2 will be a Saturday afternoon affair. Niners will be down in Vegas to take on the Raiders. That will be a 1 o'clock Pacific on KPIX Channel 5. And then Sunday the 23rd, they'll wrap up the preseason. Saturday night at 5:30 Pacific, they'll take on the LA Chargers. They'll be coming up to the Mecca to take on your 49ers for the wrap up of the regular preseason finale. Then we start to the regular season where the Niners will have the last place schedule. So remember, because of the last place schedule, they will Here we go. So, looking at the schedule in week number All right, so the Niners will start the season. Niners will start their season against the Seattle Seahawks in Week 1. They're going to start their first 2 games away from the Mecca. And of course, if you want to purchase tickets for the season, Ticketmaster.com. They will host the NFC West, of course, divisional games, and then they'll play the Chicago Bears in Week 17. They'll play the Giants in Week 9. They'll play the Cleveland Browns for the AFC North in Week 13. Niners will be going back to Cleveland. They will be taking on the Cleveland Browns in Week 13. Then to look closer to the schedule, the Niners will open up their the 49ers will open up the regular season on the road at Seattle for the 4th time in the last 5 years, and for the first time since visiting Pittsburgh in Week 1 of the 2023 season. So the Niners will start the season. And then the Niners will open up on the road against the NFC West for the first time since in 15 years when they visit the Seahawks in Week 1, and then open the season versus the NFC West opponent in Week 1. They'll open up the season for the first time in 5 years. They hosted Arizona in Week 1. The Niners then will make back-to-back road trips beginning for the first time since 2023. Pittsburgh and then LA. Then the Niners will play at least five primetime games for the 4th consecutive year. The Niners will close out Week 18 against the Seahawks for the 3rd time in the last 5 years. So the Niners will start off in Week 1. They'll take on the Seahawks, as we're going to wrong button, my bad. So they'll open up against the Seahawks. And Niners looking for their 4th consecutive win at Lumen Field, which would make the longest road winning streak against the Seahawks in team history. And then in Week 2, they'll play the New Orleans Saints. That would be an early game, 10 a.m. start. That will be on Fox. That's the early game on the 14th. And then on the 21st, they'll host the Arizona Cardinals in their home opener. That will be 125, be the home opener. That will, by the way, be our season premiere of 49ers Tailgate. We'll be taping my show out there, a 125 kickoff time on Fox, and then the late game, then another game on Fox late Sunday, September 28th against the Jacksonville Jaguars at Levi Stadium. That's a 105 start, and then it's a short week on Thursday, October 2nd. They'll be down in Los Angeles taking on the LA Rams. And that's a 5:15 start on Amazon Prime Video. Locally, it'll be on KTVU Fox 2. Al Michaels will be giving you the call, which, by the way, this will begin the 40th year Al Michaels doing play-by-play for the National Football League. Still staying after it at the age of 80. And, you know, Al Michaels is one of my favorite broadcasts. He's one of the reasons why I wanted to do play-by-play. Then in week 6, the Niners will have the mini bye week. Then on the 6th, and week 6 on October the 12th, they'll travel to take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. By the way, the Saints, the Niners are 50-27-2, including a 26-15 record. They have played very well against them over the years. They'll play Arizona at 125. Niners have won 2 of the last 3 meetings. Niners also looking for the 4th consecutive home victory. They'll play the Rams on the road. Niners have won 7 of the last 9. Then they'll play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's an early game on CBS. Then in week 7, they'll take on the Atlanta Falcons, and that's a primetime game on the Peacock on NBC on October the 19th, 5:20 Pacific on the Peacock NBC, which, by the way, that will be the exclusive network coverage of Super Bowl 60 in Santa Clara. And, of course, we're going to be getting more into that throughout this podcast. Then in week 8, the Niners traveled to the Southwest to take on the Houston Texans. That's a 10 a.m. start. That will be on Fox. And then week 9 on Sunday, November 2nd, they're at the Meadowlands to take on the New York Giants. That's a 10 a.m. kickoff. That will be on CBS. Niners for the Falcons, they were 48-33-1 and 19-12 at home. Niners are 4-1 all time against the Texans, including 1-1 on the road. Niners trying to win their 3rd consecutive win over the Giants and their 2nd on the road after beating the Giants in their last 2 trips to New York. Then the Niners are back in divisional play on November the 9th, 125 against the LA Rams on Fox. That's going to be a big divisional game. Back-to-back games, and then on November the 16th, they're at Arizona. That's a 105 start. And then in week 12, the Niners will play the Carolina Panthers on Monday Night Football on the 24th, that week leading up towards Thanksgiving. Niners are Niners are only 10-13 all time versus Carolina. They're 4-7 at home. Carolina have always given the Panthers have given them problems at home. The last time they played them at Levi Stadium, the Niners annihilated the Panthers 51-13. That was some 6 years ago. Then on November 30th, the wraparound weekend of Thanksgiving weekend, the Niners go to Cleveland. They'll take on the Browns at 10 a.m. kickoff time. That will be on CBS. That's a CBS game. The Niners are 8-13 all time versus Cleveland overall. They're 2-8 on the road. Niners are looking for their first road win in Northern Ohio for the first since 1984, where they defeated the Browns 41-7 on November 11th, 1984. That year, the Niners went on to win the Super Bowl, their 15-1 regular season. Then on the 14th is a bye. This marks for the first time ever since the introduction was instituted in 1990. The Niners will have a bye week in week 14. So the Niners will have a bye week on the first Sunday of December 7th. And then week 14, the Niners will take on the Tennessee Titans. That's a 125 game. Cam Ward, the rookie from the the top pick for the Titans, they'll play at 125 Pacific. That'll be on Fox. The Niners all-time lead that series 9-6 versus the Titans. They're 4-3 at at home. The Niners have won 6 of the previous 10 matchups against Tennessee. The Niners will host Tennessee for the second time, first since 2017, 25-23 win. And the Niners are looking for their 4th consecutive victory coming off a bye week, and that would be good. Then on December 22nd, the Niners will travel to Indianapolis to take on the Colts for Monday Night Football. The Niners have not played well versus the Colts in recent times. They're 18-27 all time against the Colts, including a 7-15 mark on the road. And then on the 28th, the Niners will host the Chicago Bears in the next to last day. That's a 5:20 game. That would be on the Peacock NBC. Niners lead the all-time series 36-33-1, including a 23-14 mark at home. This will mark the first time since the Niners will host the Bears in back-to-back seasons for the first time since the 1978 and 79 campaigns. The Niners have won 6 of the previous 10 matchups versus Chicago. And this would be Niners will be playing back-to-back primetime games for the first time in 2 years. Then the Niners will play in Week 18 to play the Seahawks either Saturday or Sunday. It's to be determined whether the Niners own a 12-14 record versus Seattle at home. Niners have won 5 of 10 regular season matchups against Seattle, including the last 3 matchups. The Niners and Seahawks will meet for the final week for the regular season for the 5th time in history. This time, this game will be at home. So that's how the schedule has suited out for the. That's how the schedule is set for your 49ers. As just a reminder, coming up for the 49ers, of course, you know, Super Bowl 60 will be coming to the Bay Area. And they got some cool packages. Join us for contact at 877-73 or it's 877-373-5062. That's 877-373-5062. So that's the site. Super Bowl 60 will be coming to the Bay Area, and we're going to be doing a lot up in the coming months, in the coming weeks. We're going to be telling you more what we're going to be doing for this season. Of course, we'll be bringing back Niners Radio 49 live tonight. We'll have expanded coverage. We'll be doing some other things. In fact, also we're going to be doing some, we'll also be doing 49ers Tailgate Live. 49ers Tailgate shows will be back at Levi Stadium. We'll be beginning our 12th season at the Mecca down in the Southland and San Jose in the South Bay. We'll be beginning our 12th season and our 13th season overall. Antonio Arvalo and the rest of the Niner faithful will be out there at Gold Bar Whiskey. We'll be doing some road shows. We'll be doing some remote shows live throughout the entire year. And just a reminder, Check all of the latest Niners news and so much more. Go to 49ers.com. Before we go tonight, we're going to share you a little treat. Look back at the 1981 San Francisco 49ers. This is going to be our final segment. 49ers defense, the Niner Gold Rush defense, Fred Dean, who they picked up in that big blockbuster trade from the Chargers, and the Niners rookie defense as well. So rookie defense with Ryan Lott, Eric Wright,
San Francisco is never fog-bound when it comes to fun. The city's in-spots are many, but from State Park. The 49er resurgence saw 49er fever reach epidemic proportions in the Bay Area and beyond. The most prominent symptom was love, but football has a way of bringing out the Hyde in every Jekyll. The 49ers also
and that's been where we've made dramatic improvement. Our defensive secondary, I believe, within 2 or 3 years will be the best in football. I can't conceive of one better.
Rookies Eric Wright, number 21, and Carlton Williamson, number 27, quickly mastered that terrain where airborne footballs strike like guided missiles. Number 1 draft choice, Ronnie Lott, number 42, rounded out this starting trio of youngsters who grew up in a big hurry. When Lynn Thomas played nickelback, the Niners fielded 4 rookies, but the baby backs were as aggressive and skillful as the most seasoned of veterans. Lott earned consensus All-Pro honors by intercepting 9 passes for 4 touchdowns in 19 games. And he and his comrades were well aware that football is a physical game.
Oh, you try to go into the game feeling that you're better than the receiver. You want to try to intimidate them.
In pro, you face a good receiver every week, and you got to be more of a hitter than when you were in college because you can't stay up here if you don't hit.
Many a last right was performed in the 49er secondary. With the rookies forcing fumbles and intercepting passes, a defense that had ranked next to last in 1980 skyrocketed to become the NFL's third best unit in 1981.
All right, that was some of the footage. That was highlights from that 1981 season, miracle season for the 49ers with the defense, that secondary, especially with the veteran Dwight Hicks and his hot licks, along with rookies Ronnie Lott, Eric Wright, and Carlton Williamson. That secondary, third best unit in football, and that was the big key for the Niners' first Super Bowl win in our Niners Radio 49 flashback. That's it for now. We're getting ready to wrap it up here at Pete's Coffee. I'd like to thank all of you watching this special edition of 49ers Live tonight. Wherever you are watching on us on youtube.com/@NinersRadio49. Just checking in. I've been out for a while, been a little bit of a hiatus, been doing some other projects, and then, been a little bit of a hiatus, but no worries. Not going nowhere. Just had to take care of some things and been doing some other projects as well. And in the coming weeks, we'll be giving you more of what's going to be happening for Niners Radio 49ers. We're trying to take it to the next level, and we're going to be having a lot coming this season. Hopefully the Niners, bounce back and, get back to where they are, being one of the top teams in the National Football League. Just a reminder, for all the latest news on 49ers News and so much more, go to 49ers.com. And for all the latest content, in case you missed this episode, you can always replay it back. YouTube.com/@NinersRadio49. That's YouTube.com/@NinersRadio49. That's it for now. Professor B checking out, signing off for this evening. Thank you for watching. If you're out there going out, wish all you a happy 4th of July holiday weekend. Be safe out there and, have fun, but more importantly, be safe. Professor B signing off. Thank you for watching 49ers, a special edition of 49ers Live tonight on Niners Radio 49. Take care, everybody.